for the money.
Uh-huh.
I take it as a leadership thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's skills that pay the bills.
Yeah.
It's like riding a bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever were to leave and then go back, you got the skills. You got the fundamentals of being a manager. Now you might don't know being assistant manager or GM or something at another company, but you do got you got the basic fundamentals. And two, I got the education as well. So it's a good thing to have, good thing to learn.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Career Education Learning Center podcast. I'm your host, Mitchell Rivers. I am thrilled and elated to have my friend Mackenzie Coley on our show today. Mackenzie has vast management experience in the fast food industry, and we're going to have him talk about other things that he's doing at this time. How are you doing today, Mackenzie?
I'm doing real good. How you doing, Mitchell?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Thank you so much for coming on our show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Mackenzie, tell the audience a little bit about yourself and your journey to your current career path.
Okay, I went to college, went to community college back in 2004, got my associate's degree in business administration. Then I went on to Barton College, got my bachelor's degree in business management. Then I moved ahead to Charlotte, got a job at Wendy's, worked my way up from crew to restaurant manager less than a year.
Wow.
Then I worked at 2 Taco Bells as assistant managers. Now I'm assistant manager at Jamba Juice. But in 2015, I got a career at Primerica, which I had to put off on hold for family issues. But now I'm back in it. So I'm a district leader now. So assistant manager one place, district at another. So I got 2 hats I got to fulfill.
That is fantastic. And the audience, that's where I met Mackenzie from, at Prime American Financial Services. And he's been a great friend since then. And we kept in touch, and this diet has really been growing. And Mackenzie, when I worked at Bojangles, I didn't move up none. I came out of school, and I was doing my school when I was at UNC Pembroke. Oh, and Central Piedmont Community College. I worked, and I didn't move up none. And so I really had to rely on my degree to get me somewhere before. And I man, please help me out. It took a while just for me to get on my toes. So I had to go into retail management in order to go to management. You went into management in fast food industry. How was that experience?
It's a learning experience from being in a crew and then work up to a shift lead, then to the assistant manager. With crew, you don't really have that much responsibility no more than make sure the customer's taken care of. Make sure you serve the food, smile, and stuff like that. Then when you get into management, now you got responsibilities. You got to be safe served. You got to watch for temps. Your cold food got to be cold. Your hot food got to be hot. You got to run that business like your name on the door. And, you got to make sure the money is accounted for. You got to make sure the food is rotated. So you got a ton of responsibilities as a manager and manage your crew. Make sure the place is clean inside and out. So you got a lot of positions that you have to fill, not only in the store and out of the store. So you got to think as the customer, and you are also the eyes and ears of the owner or owners of the company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, was that a big transition? Now, you went from crew chief to assistant manager. Was that a big transition for you?
Um, you usually go to shift lead first.
Okay.
No, it wasn't a big thing. I know your hours don't increase. The pay increase a little bit, but you got just but over time you learn more stuff. Editing time. You got to learn how to discipline people, write people up. Make sure the truck order is good. Sometimes you have to put the truck up yourself if the truck person ain't there.
Ooh.
When you transition over to from that now to the assistant manager, it's really no big difference. It's just more hours and a little bit more pay. And sometimes depending on the company, it's better, a little bit better benefits, depending on where you at.
And what about
I
that
never
assistant
worked.
manager
I
manager?
never worked that.
Was that the bigger transition going from assistant manager manager? Was that a bigger transition? Yeah, that more responsibilities that you have when you become from assistant manager manager. Was that the big leap to where now everybody looks at you now and the responsibilities you had as being the manager?
Yeah. Okay. That position is okay. If you already got leadership skills,
Mm-hmm.
it works for you. Everybody who take that position sometimes take it just for the money.
Uh-huh.
Um, I take it as a leadership thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it's skills that pay the bills.
Yes.
It's like riding a bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever were to leave and then go back, you got the skills. You got the fundamentals of being a manager. Now you might don't know being assistant manager or GM or something at another company, but you do got you got the basic fundamentals. And two, I got the education as well. So um it it's a good thing to have, good thing to learn. It builds
Mm-hmm.
character, it builds self-esteem. Um, it it can get on your nerve.
Mm-hmm.
They can wear you out, especially the crew and then the customers. They can be nasty. The
Yeah,
upper
I don't know about that.
management nasty. So you got to keep a level head. You got to be professional. You can't let it be personal. Now, have there been times have I let things been personal? I have.
I think we all have. Mackenzie. I was in retail management, so I know about that transition. My big transition was assistant manager to manager. Now you're the head. Now you're in charge of everything, and now everything falls on you on the store, right? Inspections, store
Um,
inspections, and everything else that falls on you.
well,
So,
well, like at Jamba and like everything else, I took on that responsibility because I wanted to learn and I
mm-hmm.
wanted to move up into corporate. But but no, God got other plans. So
Okay. Yeah,
no,
sometimes he does. He does have other plans, you know.
so that's where the insurance company came in at,
Uh-huh.
and you know, Danny called me
Uh-huh.
and out of the blue. So that's how I got with Primerica.
Now, how about your education? Now, did your education help you with that transition to management as far as learning or any skills that you learned
Um,
or educational management styles you learned in college? Did that help you when you went to fast food and was in management position?
yeah, yes, it helps. Cause college prepare you for the real world.
Mm-hmm.
So it helps you deal with different kind of people from all walks of life, different countries. So when you learn those fundamentals in college, you apply some of it to your everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
But then you learn the hands-on aspect once you get there. There's some things they don't tell you about rotating food in college. They don't
Mm-hmm.
tell you how to treat customers in college. They don't teach you how to keep everything professional and
Uh-huh.
cause nasty people.
Yes.
There's they don't show up for work. Um, the budget. I mean, they teach you budgeting, but see, every company different.
Right.
So what might be a budget at Taco Bell is not the same at Wendy's
Right.
or Jamba. Your management style sometimes differ, especially with time changing. When I was in 2012, when I became shift lead, people worked. Now some of the people had retired, and now I'm in my 40s, mid 40s. So it wasn't like I'm in my 30s. Now you got the young people coming up. Excuse me. The 19, 20-year-olds, they lazy.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I just say that they're a different type of breed. I would put it that way. I would say young people different type of breed.
Let me finish. I got a 17-year-old. She awesome. I love her. I wish I can clone her and get about 50 more of her. And I'm telling you, I'll come in on my day off and work with this girl for free. But the rest of them, you got to keep it professional. Cause in your head, you see you going to jail, and these people don't know how to raise their children right. They run their mouth. You ask them to do something, they got lip. They're on their phone. I mean, we didn't have that. Growing up.
It's a different generation, no doubt about it, Mackenzie. I mean it's a different generation.
I mean, they don't think you got real world responsibilities. You got a house, you got a wife, kids, mortgage or rent, a car. They stay home with their parents, talk back to their parents. They don't help them with no bills, nothing. They don't have they just go through life, just skipping through life like it's blue skies every day. And it gets on my nerve.
Yeah, it can. And I talk to other people like that work with teenagers. That's a bit different because when you're in the fast food industry, Mackenzie, you're definitely going to work for a lot of teenagers, And if you're fortunate enough to have some good teenagers like I work with, or you have some adults that happen to still want to work there, maybe part-time, maybe they married and do this part-time or whatever, then you really are successful as far as your business is concerned and lucky. Because then you're able to have an adult there to take that responsibility very seriously than young people. Now, I'm pretty sure it is a different generation. And in our generation, you were taught to really, whenever you came on a job, be more respectful, don't use profanity.
Yeah,
we didn't have cell phones like they did. And so I would say that. But it's a definitely different mindset these days.
Yeah, they don't have the self-respect. When we was coming up, your pants pulled up, you had a belt on, your shirt tucked in, you look nice, you smell nice, and you were polite, yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. It ain't like that today. It's God knows it's totally different. And I'm thinking, maybe because I'm older, and maybe I need to be with the insurance company instead of doing with babysitting children.
So in other words, you becoming an old man.
No more. It's not managing no more. It's a daycare now.
So in other words, you becoming an old man on lawn. Get off my lawn. What you're saying, huh?
Yeah.
That's good that you're in the insurance industry where you're most likely going to deal with more adults, right? More adults and more people have responsibilities. So you don't really take it seriously of what you're trying to offer them. Correct?
Yeah, but you gotta look at the fact people like me and your age, we thinking about an IRA and getting ready to retire.
Yeah.
So what, another 20 years? They ain't thinking about that. They ain't thinking about retiring. What they thinking about getting drunk on the weekend, smoking weed.
Yeah, well, and that's most young people at our age too. I'm not gonna totally bash this age because they did that back in my day. But was more respectful. I would say it was more respectful. But there is a dichotomy difference there. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted you on the show is that when you work with young employees, there's a bit different working young employees, especially with teenagers and young adults, rather than working with older adults, depending on what industry you're in. Now, when I was in the financial industry, as far as banking is concerned, then you're dealing with more adults and more people taking it seriously and want to advance their career. Then when you're dealing with fast food, that's what I want you on the show today, is that there's a different way of leading these young people. There's a different way of your management style have to be than you are with adults. And like I said, you feel more like a babysitter to an extent, and I'm pretty sure I've talked to teachers in the past on this podcast, that's a different way. Like I said, even from 2012, 2010 to today, the teaching styles that they have to do today is totally different with the way society is handling things today. It's totally different in society today than even was 10, 15 years ago. And so the way you have to have the management style to deal with teenagers today is totally different than you did, like you said earlier, in 2010, 2012 era. And so how have you able to adapt even at this job here as far as dealing with young people today and get them to take seriously the job at hand and say, hey, I know this is just a job for you, but please be respectful of our customers and your fellow coworkers?
Now, like, I'm the manager at night. And so I had to try not to be too strict in the store. Everybody we try to share responsibilities in the store. My team, I got them. They are pretty good at night. I got a 52-year-old work there, a 33-year-old. The 17-year-old is good. The other two is questionable. They got written up Sunday night, and because they were cussing at one of the other managers. So I was disappointed, and I let them know I was disappointed in them because it's not how we do on my shift. Even when I'm not there, you need to be respectful of the managers there, because if the owner got wind of it, and I'm pretty sure they're probably gonna get fired. I don't want to, because they good kids, but they make bad judgment. And like I told them, you can't run your mouth at authority. You're gonna get in trouble. And see what happened. They got in trouble. So I like to work with people who got responsibilities. That people that will come in to work. But I understand how things changed in the last 10 years. After COVID, pay wages went up. And even then, people were marching for $15. So now people getting paid $15. So now you're doing the job of 3 or 4 people, and people mad about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of overwork there within the industry. And
the $15 is a new $7.25. And
it really is. It really is, because unfortunately, inflation has gone up. The cost of living has gone up way past the amount that we're getting these days. And even the federal wage, minimum wage hasn't gone up, but everybody had to go up, like you said before, because of COVID. And that forced the employers to make sure they had to raise theirs to compete to get those employees in, right? To attract candidates to work at their job. And so it forced them to go up. And one of the reasons I want to own here is that make sure that young people that's watching this show today to realize to take their job very seriously, to be very respectful, because even though it's just a job for you, when you go for that career job, you never know, they may make that call back to a simple job that you had, maybe at a Chick-fil-A, maybe at a McDonald's, Hardee's, Food Line, Target, Walmart. And maybe that may be the deciding factor, because if you took that job seriously and went well there, then I know you'll take my job seriously once you become an accountant, lawyer, doctor, whatever you want to be, management in any type of level. And so I want to make sure that our audience students know that, hey, take the job seriously, even though it's just a job for you, but it's someone else's livelihood.
Yeah, and also too, I want to add on, you can take that job and make it a career.
Mm-hmm.
Learn it. If you're not gonna go to college, and if you're not gonna go to the military, and you're not gonna start a business or something,
Mm-hmm.
take the job and learn it. Learn it for the skills. Work your way up. Who knows? You may work up in corporate.
Mm-hmm.
You may get that vice president job. You may get that CFO job. You
Mm-hmm.
don't know, but your attitude
Mm-hmm.
is key. Are you gonna have bad days? Oh, we all do. Career careers, you gonna have bad days with careers because it's something that you want. It's something that you fight for. It ain't just a job that you just clock in and go home. It's something because you want to learn and you want to be the better version of yourself tomorrow than you was today. That's the difference between a career and a job. And you can make a living working at fast food.
Mm-hmm.
And I got an example. There was this guy. He was my director of operations at Taco Bell,
Mm-hmm.
and well, I'm trying to get him to be a client and a recruit now.
Mm-hmm.
And so he worked up to become the director of an operation. He was making six figures a year, but he took his money and he invested,
Mm-hmm.
and now he want to buy a house out here in Charlotte
Mm-hmm.
at the 300,000.
Mm-hmm.
He just left for a trip in Africa sometime this year.
Mm-hmm.
So he doing very good for himself. It's
Mm-hmm.
just your mindset. You got to listen for information. You got to get with the right people and
Mm-hmm.
make your money work for you. And yeah, you got to be educated about money.
Yeah,
And
and you do, and I think also within the context, another reason why at the Career Education Learning Center we also stress entrepreneurship is that you can take those skills and all that stuff that you learn, budgeting, inventory, and leadership position, and take that if you work in a restaurant and open up your own business, or either do better
yeah,
than that,
and
buy the franchise, right? Go ahead and earn enough money, have your own business, or earn enough money to where you got a good credit, as you say about financial literacy, get good credit, and able to buy your own franchise. So all that can go in that context just by you working at a restaurant or fast food. So I
mhm,
think there's other things that I'm trying to get students and our viewers and listeners to understand is that you can take a small job. And I knew a person that worked at Chick-fil-A, young lady that she worked at high school and moved up for 4 years, moved all the way up to assistant manager to management, right? And so just
yeah,
think about it. If she saved her money for the next 10, 15 years with good credit or whatever, maybe she's able to become an owner of a franchise, or they do it different at Chick-fil-A, but if you was a franchise at McDonald's, Taco Bell, maybe buy your own franchise, right? Or get into that
yeah,
franchise industry
because
or another franchise that you feel is best. But you already had that leadership skills, budgeting, inventory, everything that it takes to be a leader, and apply that to your leadership skills as far as entrepreneurship. Would you agree?
yeah. Yeah, because some places allow you to the chance to franchise, like
Mm-hmm.
Steak and Shake, Burger King,
Mm-hmm.
Bojangles. Um, you work there, you work your way up. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one day you a general manager, one day the next week you a business owner.
Right.
So so it can happen, but like I said, you got to have a good attitude. You got to read.
Mm-hmm.
Don't read junk. Read books.
Mm-hmm.
Read something wholesome, cause something may jump out at you,
Mm-hmm.
and there's some valuable information. One thing people need to learn about the cash flow quadrant. They need to know about that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a good way to see where you at and see where how it value
Mm-hmm.
your yourself.
Mm-hmm.
See your self worth. Just
Yeah.
like you an employee.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so this person will tell you that your time worth $15
Mm-hmm.
an hour, but they get paid $1,000. They get paid millions of dollars a day.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing that we want to stress. And again, that's why I had you on the show today, my friend, is that you can take what you have, like you said before, to apply those skills, even at the fast food industry and the management, and go and become an entrepreneur or own that franchise or another franchise because you have the leadership, the skills, the discipline, you know what it takes, you know how to relate to people and the customers to do that. And so definitely on the next time that you come on our show, and Mackenzie, I hope you do come back on our show again, we want to talk about financial literacy and insurance and how is that important, even for young people to learn at an early age. And as you know, the earlier that you learn this stuff, then the better off that you're going to be down the line. You know, well, fortunately, we didn't learn this stuff when I was young.
And I think that would tie in with people viewing their career options or take the job seriously. When you learn, when you have financial literacy, like I said, a lot of people grew up, they didn't have financial literacy. So it should be taught at home, but it wasn't. And I know a manager right now don't even know how to write a check. And she's in her 50s.
Wow. So that's one thing that we definitely need to address.
And I try to show her how to write a check. So she had to call the owner and see whether I was correct. And the owner said, yeah, you don't know how to write a check. You know, and that's sad. You know,
Well, the young people today, you know, they don't write checks today. You know, I mean, a lot of times they just get that card and they tap it or use their phone. So it's definitely a total shift of how we use currency these days, right? How we use transactions. Everything by computer, everything by wires and everything else. And so it's just something they have to learn there. But before we go, Mackenzie, are there any advice that you have for our young people and viewers and audience members today?
My best advice is, you know, let's learn, grow, have a positive attitude. Yes, you're going to have some bad days, but stay positive. And you will stand out and you will have the skills, the knowledge, the best attitude to go even further in life. You know, you got it in you. Just stay true to yourself.
I like that. Just stay true. Well, thank you, Mackenzie, again for coming on our show today. And I'd like to thank our viewers and listeners for joining me, Mitchell Rivers, on the Career Education Learning Center podcast, where we make your career dreams a reality. God bless.